everybody. So on behalf of the entire team of Xobin, I'd like to thank our participants for making their time to join the session. I'd like to start by introducing our speaker today. We are very lucky to have with us today Mr. Madhavan Unni. He's been working in taking several responsibilities from strategy, solutions, and delivery to growth at Wipro Technologies. He's right now a practice director at Wipro, taking care of end-to-end Microsoft technology solutions, right? And he's working with customers globally, right? I had an opportunity of interacting with Madhavan briefly at an event in a prestigious university in Chennai, and I was really impressed with the amount of knowledge he has with respect to campus recruitment. And I made a request that we have a lot of our customers at Xobin who are going to campuses, and one or two insights from you could completely transform the way they function. Right? And it's because, if it is campus recruitment, we can think about few companies, and Madhavan is closely associated with one such huge, I could call it as a universe. So thank you, Madhavan, firstly for accepting my invitation, right? And it means a lot. Right? Thank you. Right. So I'm going to quickly, it's a brief session and I wanted to remain candid. We've not prepared a lot for this event. That way we can extract good candid insights from Madhavan. So I'm going to start by saying, Madhavan, if we rewind to like 2005, 2008, sorry, let's not talk about 2008, the time when IT was at peak, there was a lot of excitement about fresher hiring. And, so over the period of time, so what is the reason behind hiring freshers? Right? So what is the strategy? What is it that freshers bring to the table? Why hire them in such a large number? What is the core reason behind hiring freshers?
I'll be very, very simple and straightforward here, right? So two aspects which I look at from a fresher perspective. See, we all have been in the industry today. Maybe whatever experience we carry, we all joined as a fresher. Yes or no, right? Correct. So
correct.
There was one day for me as a fresher, and I was also out of college. You was out of college. We all joined, right? So now today I have close to about 28 years in the industry. You have been in the industry, right? All of us have been in the industry for growing there, right? Doing multiple things. But what I see today is, but today's campuses. I've been doing this campus interviews for the last 10, 15 years. I've been to multiple campuses. One is the fresh mindset and the innovation and the tend to learn, right? Grasp things faster, as well as the innovation. That's more important, right? Adopting and innovation, basically. The fresh minds come out with ideas. Today, if you look at the last 4-5 years, a lot of ideathons and hackathons are happening. And if you look at all this next gen or the young generation of the people who are coming up with a lot of ideas, I will get surprised. So I've worked on n number of solutions, whatever it is for the customers. You talk from any industry. But when I talk to a fresher, the kind of today's young people come out in the college, the ideas which they have, right, fresh in their mind. So we actually tend to learn a lot. I don't know. That's something which I really like. So they give an idea. They may not have any experience, but they just maybe reading from the books or from the social knowledge what they bring in. The first thing I see is the creative thoughts, the creative mindset and ideas, the passion to learn, right? The passion is obviously there from the fresher. Second aspect is basically the adoption, right? They all are the young age, so they want to be more flexible. Adaptability is there, and then want to learn something else, get into any of the domain, be it in the retail industry, be it in the manufacturing industry or banking, whatever industry, they want to learn something else, right? So that's the two things which I found from the fresher, the fresh minds, which right to adopt things and to come out with the learning and the creative ideas, basically. So that are the key things which we really look at from a fresher.
Got it. On the same topic, freshers feel they are entitled to a job. When they join their college, they start paying fees, and they think that it is the college's duty to provide them with a job. And many people, what are you doing? This they don't even finally a student. They say that I'm attending campus interviews. Okay, fine. Which company are you applying for? They think that campus interviews are organized by the college, and they don't know the what's actually happening. What is the role of the college and what is the role of the company? Many students don't know, right? So for a company that is going to the college for campus recruitment, right? What are the things they should do to make sure that they set the expectations of the students right? See, when a startup like me go, the students, usually they throw in a lot of anger at many companies, right? So you have come to give me job and I'm supposed to be paid salary, and then that's the mindset, right? So how can companies communicate with the candidates so that the expectation is set right even before they attempt to recruit them?
See, today, if you look at most of the the campuses, which I've noticed, right, as soon as you go and ask them, the placement officers or the placement cell, right, they'll say my people have joined for higher salaries. They'll just give the throw the numbers. Somebody has offered, or somebody has got a job for 20 lakhs. Somebody has got for 15 lakhs. So they are actually categorizing. I think that's one mistake which the colleges does now. What I've noticed is, right, they categorize depends on the marks or whatever the score which they carry. They'll say category of 5 to 10 lakh salary base. 10 to 15 lakhs or 15 plus lakhs. These are the companies. And these people doesn't even know what the company is also. You're right, right? But nobody have a clue about what company, which company, but they just look at from the salary bracket. I've seen
Package.
there are so many startups, right? The package, right? The
Correct.
package, what package is that? 14 lakhs, 15 lakhs. I was talking to some of the folks in one of the college universities recently in Sastra, I believe, Sastra University.
Mm,
They don't
mm,
even know who the company is, the end company is, basically. But they're
mm,
all only attracted by that package, right? So that's something which even the colleges are not giving a view of who they are, right? There are so many companies today. For example, I've noticed one of the colleges which I've just recently talking, and I saw the list of companies which they came. Optum UHG. I asked the
mm,
college, do you know what Optum UHG means? What do they do?
mm,
No, nobody have a clue, right? They only know that some company named Optum UHG who's coming over there. They're a captive, based in Bangalore as well as in Hyderabad. They have come over there and they have offered a high salary. That's all. My guy is getting a package, a very attractive package, and that's the USP for the college also, right? That's
correct.
the USP today, right? And they sell my people get very attractive lucrative packages. So that's my USP. So they attract more people to come and join their colleges, right? But these colleges doesn't have a clue about the end customer or the end
Correct.
company, right?
Yeah.
So Optum UHG is on the healthcare. I don't know
Mm,
whether the placement people doesn't even know what Optum UHG is all about, right? They
mm,
are into the healthcare, lucrative healthcare business. We have number one in US, right? United Health Group, right?
mm,
And Optum is one of their acquisitions, and what Optum offers for their end customers of UHG, there are so much of things, and they are lucratively they pay, and they also know that the supply in India is very good. It's a US company.
mm,
They know the supply, India is very good. They get very good talent, and they
mm,
also offer very well for their capital. But these colleges, what I've noticed is they don't even have that this one. I don't know whether they know the domain background. See, they may know the SIs like us, like basically if you look at
okay.
Wipro or TCS or Infosys or whatever, right?
Mm,
Cognizant, these things they know, okay, because they have been in this campus
exactly.
interviews and hiring market for the last almost like 20 plus years, like almost
Correct.
20 years. But if you look at today, there are a lot of campuses, Visa, right? Optum UHG. There are so many gaming companies, right? Electronic Arts. These companies go Oracle. So Oracle maybe yes, but there are so many companies which are very very good company. Intuit, right? These
Mm,
companies go to the college and nobody have a clue what these companies are all about. And I don't know whether the students also have a clue about what these companies are, unless they get the invite from the placement office saying that, okay, these are the company coming today. You might have to go
mm,
and attend their test, right? Depending upon the score or the grade, they'll say you are entitled to go and apply for this package of 10 to 15 lakhs, or you are
mm.
going to entitled to. That has to change. They should
Got it.
actually throw open. These are all my 10 companies coming in, and these are the 10 companies who are doing what is their business, right? And what do they
Mm,
do? What are their end customers, and what is
mm,
their market value or market share and kind of thing. So that may give a more attractive things to the students to choose their own choices. Somebody will have an intention to go and work for a gaming company, right? They wanted to build more of gaming software and that kind of thing. Somebody will be having an intention to be more of in the financial service, securities and capital markets, play around in trading kind of thing. Somebody will be having in the healthcare industry. So it gives a choice for that end the students as well. Because see, ultimately today, if you look at everybody, they may not have a domain knowledge, but at least they are very well exposed to every industry. Correct. So that's something which I've also noticed. They know what banking is all about, what healthcare is all about, right?
Correct. Got it.
Yeah.
Great points, Madhavan. Great. So we have customers, 100 employees, they have only 2-member HR team. Right? And then usually they get $1 million project, or they get a their Series D, Series C funding, and they want to grow their team by, let's say, 40 or 50, right? Out of this 50%, they decide to be freshers, right? Now, many people do not have the bandwidth to or resources like a Wipro or Infosys to travel to hundreds of colleges and start sourcing good students, right? So, how would you advise for the people who have to hire, let's say, 20 freshers in the next 3 months, right? How do you advise that they have to approach, right? So should they go to the just closest college nearby and start screening people? Or if you were in their position, right, in a managerial level, assuming that you are the CEO of a 150-member company, how would you advise your HR team to proceed to get these freshers quickly?
The simplest mechanism would be to go through some partners, right? Outsource it to somebody else. See, hiring, yes, you need to hire the best talent in the market, right? But I think with the smaller teams and with a very limited bandwidth, I don't think the companies will have that bandwidth. Even Wipro is struggling, right? Wipro also, if you look at not just the campuses, the lateral had also, we have actually outsourced it, right? We take it from different roads, basically. So hire a trusted partner who can actually bring in the best out of the best, right? There might be a lot of malpractices, but we need to look at the trusted partner who can actually help us sourcing it. So they may be traveling to the colleges, and maybe once in a while or once or twice you can travel, but you cannot have the continuous exercise, right, to do, because it's a tedious process. It's a huge structure and process in hiring itself, right? You have to define which college, the tier 1, we have categorization of the colleges, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 kind of thing, all those categorization. And then in that categorization, we have different classifications. Okay, this is the number of people whom we have to take it from the tier 1, how many number of people from the tier 2, right? So you may have to screen multiple things you have to do, right? It is just not a simple process. It's a very tedious process, and it's almost like a 6 months process to make sure that we get that entire campus hires for every year, right, in the batches when we select. So smaller companies, maybe Wipro kind of large companies or TCS or something SIs who have been in this for about 15-20 years, we are able to do, because we have our own campus hiring team. We have a separate team, and then that team, what they do is they also have contracting, we call talent acquisition, who go to the campuses, who does everything for them, right? So if it's smaller companies, I would ideally suggest that they partner with some partners, if you can be a good partner to assess and get the best out of best for them, I think that really would change the game.
Right? I think that's a very good answer, Madhavan. Yeah, that's a very good answer. Campus recruitment is something we do good at Xobin as well. So yes, that's a great answer, by the way. Now, I always have this doubt. Coming to my next question, you make offer of, let's say, 2,000 candidates, right? And the companies like Wipro get the day 0 slot, the most luxurious slot. Like, you can walk into any top college in India, just say the name of your company, you get the first slot, right? But I usually see a funnel, right? You get good candidates, and then gradually, they keep getting better offers, right? And before they join, very few people join, right? So I have this question: do you calculatedly give this offer, assuming that so many people are going to retract their offers? Right? Does it happen, right? How does it happen at a senior management? It's okay. So you anticipate these?
Yes, of course. The conversion ratio, right? Every job, right? If you think that, okay, if I would have planned for 100 people, right? What I do is usually it's 3x. In the lateral market itself, we go 3x. We release close to about 2.5 to 3x. That means for 100 people to join, we actually release offers for about 200 to 250 people on an average, or even we go more than that. And we anticipate only 50% of conversion from a lateral. The
Okay.
same thing applies for the campuses as well. If we plan for 1,000, we typically what we do, we actually go at least 1.5x basically. 1,400 people we will offer. And then we know that, okay, this many only will join. Or even after joining, somebody may quit. So something, because one, they may get another offer, or they may go for higher studies. They would have made their different mind, right? So all those things happen. So we always don't go for 100% conversion and then only offer the exact 100. We typically do a 1.5x to 2x in campuses. For laterals, we actually do 3x because our conversion ratio, anywhere you go and offer somebody else, he may get another offer, right? Package from some other company, higher salary.
100%.
So
Yeah.
of course they will. So that's the typical standard which we follow. The thumb rule, that's the thumb rule which we follow, and that's how we offer as well. And in case if we get more conversion, we are good, right? We get, depending upon the scores and kind of thing. If we get a conversion of 60 or 70%, actually we are happy. We get a good conversion, right? It's all how attractive we are. That's
I think
the
one
thumb
point,
rule.
it's a luxury. I think that
Yeah.
the top companies can actually enjoy of doing. So, well, that's great. One of the core problems that I think we briefly discussed when we met also is that there is a among students, the
Mhm.
colleges they are focused on teaching students aptitude and how to crack the Wipro interview rather than making the students successful once they join the company. So there is a gap between the industry and academia, right? That is a very known problem. And if I may say, it's been there for a long time, right? And we have so many thousands of colleges in India, right? And still the problem is very real, students really, there's a big gap. How can we, how is, if I can ask, how is Wipro tackling this problem? Right? So it's going to be a core problem. So how do you tackle this?
See, that's what we have changed our game, right? So earlier, about 10 years back, when we were doing campuses, we used to go to the last semester or the seventh or eighth semester kind of thing, right? For campuses, and then we hire
Mhm.
people and we used to offer. But now we have changed the game for the last 5, 6 years. What we have done is we have actually going and handpicking people during the sixth semester itself, right? So we know that these people, so during the sixth semester itself, we go and handpick people, even from the top colleges. We even go much before itself, and then we know that they might be very good in aptitude kind of thing, correct? In the last
Got it.
1 year, so from that aptitude, whatever that sixth semester itself, we hire the people, we give them an offer, and rather than going as an intern, right? So usually what happens, college, these people, the students in the last final year, they join as an intern somewhere else to get an experience, right?
Mhm.
So what now
Mhm.
here we do, they also come to use Wipro. Wipro used to hire a lot of interns for all our own projects and that kind of thing. Now we stopped that entire model. Now we are only going to campuses, whichever college we have a campus, hiring plan. Third year, by sixth semester, we hire the people, and then the last 1 year, we actually monitor them. We track them
Oh,
on
okay.
their entire performance, as well as we give them projects, basically, right? We to give them a live projects. We make them work on our environment. Basically, we had our own, infrastructure and environment, cloud-based environment. We make them work on our environment. We give them some case studies. We also make sure that these people aligned with what Wipro is all about and how we actually engage with our customers and what we deliver kind of thing. So they get used to it. So that when they are in the final year and then the eighth semester and then the final semester and they're coming out of the college, right? Then now when they come into the in a company, they're well aware of what is Wipro, right? And what do we do for our customers? What are the kind of projects which we do, right? And
Interesting.
what
Interesting.
technologies? So that's the kind of, we have actually changed the game. So now many of the companies have started doing the same thing, right? So I don't know how they are grooming the people, but at least we have a very solid platform to groom the people and train the people.
Yes, yes. The velocity fresher identification process is very,
Correct.
very.
Correct. Yeah, you got a main point. So we have three models. One is called the normal route. The other one is velocity. So then the other is the top, global 100, we call it as. So
Okay.
velocity is something we give a POC or something, and also we make sure that they are certified. If somebody can get a certification, as for example, Azure, right? I come from Microsoft itself, Azure fundamentals. It's very simple, right? So Azure fundamentals, if somebody can focus and get that certification, much before they're coming out of the college, passing out of their college, then we actually put them into the velocity fresher. So velocity fresher actually get paid a little bit higher than the normal fresher. That's how we entertain. So what is the motivation? For example, if they get X, we pay the velocity fresher X into something else, X 0.5 or X point something we pay. So that's a motivation for even the freshers to make sure that, okay, they also, along with the whatever the POC or the project which we're working on, they also get certified. Right. So that's the motivation which we keep for the velocity. And the Global 100, obviously, right, we give them some strategic thoughts. And they come out with, most of the MBAs, we do that one, the Global 100. So we take from creamy colleges, we give them some strategy, and they will be put into our some of our strategy planning, and they come out with solid ideas, right? Or what do we need to do, kind of thing, and they come out with 4, 5, and we have some presentation walkthrough with some of our senior managers, senior leaders. What we do, we give them an opportunity to present their thoughts. So that's how we do, and they come out with various awesome ideas. So that is the Global 100 we call it. So these are the three
Interesting,
models.
interesting. I think the earlier we become a part of the student's college life, so the better we'll be able to filter.
Correct.
So when we hire for a company like for huge companies like Wipro, been there for years together, and there used to be a time when you get the first job, people stick to the same company for decades together. They grow, their life grows along with the company, right? Now that concept right now, from my limited understanding, for freshers is very difficult to digest. They compare themselves with their classmates throughout their life. I mean, it's the competition is it carries out literally, So it goes till the time they get married, and it goes. The competition is endless. It never stops. From the campus, from a batch of students you hire every year, what percentage of people stick through in the years, and they show promise of climbing to the leadership level, right? What percentage of that people end up climbing to the top leadership level slowly, or even show interest of climbing to the top percentage of the level? What percentage?
Yeah, it's a good question. So basically, if you look at from the Wipro's history itself, right? Wipro has been there for almost like 30 years, almost like 1900, 19 something we started, right? And then today we've been growing in multiple businesses, right? So there are a lot of old timers in Wipro still who have actually grown to the senior management level or the mid-level level from the campuses. They have been in the campuses for like 20 plus years, 25 plus years. They have all grown to the different heights. So I would say, for me, if you to question what percentage, maybe around to the senior manager level, around 4, 5% of the people, definitely yes, right? If they grow by 10, 15 years, they become from project engineers till to a delivery head, delivery managers, program managers, even directors. There are so many campus hires who have joined. So about 4, 5% of the campus people have definitely gone, and that's how Wipro's culture is also, right? We actually motivate a lot of people, and then there are a lot of internal assessment and training plans, to progress them. There are leadership thing, like we have called it as Wipro Leaders Program, Business Leaders Program. So we make sure that people go through all these programs and climb the ladder on to achieve that or get to that mid-level or the senior level, positions basically. But it all depends on the priorities as well. Today, if you look at the campus people, right, when we hire from it was all about 10, 15 years back. Yes, I agree with you. So people had that intention to stick longer for
Yes.
every companies. But if you look at the last 4, 5 years, what I've noticed is the priorities are changing, right? People they come with some mindset, right? They have an innovative mindset, creative mindset. And if you're putting them in some project where they're not able to, bring out that creative thoughts, or if they're not able to cope up with that kind of environment, they want to work on something different. Like for example, VLSI, right? Electronics. Somebody will come out the chip design kind of thing. And VLSI, if you look at today, R&D work, right? And if they come into a services company like Wipro or TCS, right? They will end up working in some other project, but they may not be rightly using all the VLSI skills. But if they would have gone to an electronic chip like Intel or a Texas Instruments kind of company, they would have actually leveraged their actual skills and skills in designing that chip, and they would have succeeded. But if they come to companies like TCS or Wipro, and if they end up into working on some retail or some other projects, right? What happens is they lose that creative thoughts what they had studied during the college days. That I have
Got
noticed.
it.
So R&D. Earlier we had R&D and there were a lot of R&D work now. So now from that R&D focus is more of a services kind of thing, right? Even in product companies are changing. So that priorities is what we have to look at from when we hire from the campuses, whether they have a product kind of inclination or their mindset is in a services business. So we have to look at that inclination. Somebody who has that product inclination, if you put him into a services industry, he will literally fail, right?
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
so that we have to be very, very cautious on taking. So that is where today I'm seeing a lot of people come with that product thought process, right? Somebody who want to design an automated chip processes, or no, if you look at Intel, how they are Texas Instruments, I'm just giving, or in the automobile industry, how they have new things are being innovated. So we have to look at all this aspect and then give an offer.
Great, great. I think we are coming to the end of the session, Madhavan, finally.
Yeah.
So I have
Thank
a slightly different question to ask. So
you.
see, Xobin is a startup. We are building new technologies to support the future of workforce. So
Mhm.
uh, we usually end up building a product that would be like that would people appreciate 5 years down the line. So I can see I've been doing this from 2015, 2016. Whatever we built in 2017, people appreciate in 2022, right?
Mhm.
So now 10 years down the line, how do you think this I think COVID pandemic, since we all worked out of home, it unraveled a lot of things. People have a completely different perspective towards working, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Often, we had a lot of issues about moonlighting and all taking the stage, right? 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, right? The senior management could change, or, their process could evolve. But how do you think the mode of working would be, in 10, 15 years down the line? Let me tell you, so I'm talking about how we work fundamentally. And
Mhm.
secondly, the talent also is becoming increasingly smart. Students, they start doing internship in their 11th standard. Uh, so recently in a college I was speaking, I asked how many people know Python. 17-year-olds, everybody know technology that a 21-year-old kid would know in 2014.
Correct.
Talent is becoming extremely smart. So how do you think, what are the trends you sense with respect to the future of workforce, let's say 15 years down the line?
See,
Which
future of
areas do you
workforce.
think would evolve? Yeah,
You're talking about the technology trend, or you're talking about the work culture itself, how the work-wise it's going to be?
the work-wise.
Work-wise, of course, it's going to be hybrid. So that's no doubt about it. Because if you start forcing these people right now, everybody have known, and even customers also understood the kind of the pandemic has already taught us a lesson, right? Earlier, as I also told you other day, also, right? So earlier, when in Wipro or wherever, right, we have this concept of ODCs. We call it as the offshore development centers, right? A four-wall
Mhm.
kind of thing where you have to all of them have to come sit inside that ODC to deliver whatever they deliver the services to the customer, right? So today
Mhm.
in this pandemic, right, in the last 2 years, we have learned a lot of lessons where it doesn't matter whether you sit in your office or the four walls, whether you sit in your home or whether you sit in some hotels, doesn't matter wherever it is, as long as your data is
Mhm.
secured and you have all the tools and technologies to make sure that what you do is secured and deliver your services to the customer, correct? So that model is already set, that customers also understood that, but the mindset is all set. And now, if you go and call them back, now everybody have, they have laid their complete foundation in this model. So it will be hybrid. It may not be completely work from model. It will be hybrid. The reason I'm saying hybrid is coming to office is something where you meet with a team, right? That's a different
Mhm.
environment. So more
Mhm.
than your work, right? If you have a one-on-one face-to-face discussions meetings with your own peers and colleagues or your supervisors or your team members, that kind of gives a different ambient, different perspective itself, right? You learn a lot. Not just the work alone, it's all social collaboration itself. That social
Correct.
collaboration will give you a kind of bonding, right? Which also helps you retention, right? You just touched upon this moonlighting other step also. Retention is also important. Now you don't know in the pandemic, so many people have joined my own team whom I have never interacted or I've never met them, but I've been
Mm.
on calls. So
Mm.
when we meet them in office on a not on a daily basis, at least once in a week or something, or
You
twice a week,
appreciate
if you
that,
meet.
yeah.
Correct, right? So that kind of bonding happens when you meet them in person, where we used to be. So I think it will be a hybrid model. Not people will come all days. Maybe you can make it like one day a week or twice a week or something like that. All companies are opening up like that, right? So that has to cascade. So now, in fact, we have started that model from senior level. Now, senior level is mandated for about 3 to 4 days, 3 days a week. Now we are basically cascading our team members to come to office, and at least that bonding will happen. We'll go for lunch, we'll go for tea, coffee, right? So that is when we discuss on some of things, right, on the domain technologies or new things happening. So that model is kind of changing. It will become hybrid, right? It may not be a complete back to office kind of thing, but it will be a back to office come, hybrid model. You can work from
Okay,
anywhere.
that's great. I think the more things are hybrid, the more scope for
Yes.
technology for us, right? And
Yeah, yeah. Today,
uh,
if you look at technology as all, see today Teams, right? Using the same Teams. Today, we started selling all our services on Teams. We have all my customers joining on Teams. In different depends on whatever time zone it is, right? We all
mhm.
collaborate on Teams. We present our solutions. That's what in Teams you can present whiteboarding. You can do, right? Teams gives us a complete platform. So that's how we actually sell a lot of our services to our customers. So it doesn't it saves a lot of your operational cost and as well as capex as well, right? A lot of travel cost is reduced. A lot of other projects miscellaneous cost is reduced. So we have to look at all aspects. So cost wise also you save a lot by having this hybrid model, and also it will create that bonding and the interaction between the teams basically. So those are all the things. Basically. Technologies today, security also a lot of technologies are there. So that's how it's going to be the next 10, 15 years,
Yeah, I
right?
think certain answers we could not have got from people with lesser experience than you, Madhavan. And
My
it's
pleasure.
so much reinforcing, that to hear from someone with decades of experience, right, on all the topics we discuss. So I think we've come to the end of the session. We have spent 2 minutes extra. Thank you so much, for blocking your time, right? And you
My
didn't have
pleasure.
to do this, but thank you for accepting and for coming and sharing your
Sure.
insights.
It was my pleasure, talking to you, Guru and team, and all the best. Good luck to the Xobin team as well. Of course, any questions you can reach out to me, and always will be more helpful to the team as well. So.